Subs for Raiders, dubs. I'll tell you what, man, Victory Monday, it just simply hits different. And if you're a diehard Raider fan, if you just barely have a voice from screaming in yesterday's 38-20 win, I want you to hit that subscribe button because this team, even though it wasn't pretty, they deserve for you guys right now to hit that sub button. So I mean it, subs for Raiders, dubs. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here, we're going to get into our Overreaction Monday after a huge win for the Silver and Black. But before we do, major shout out to today's sponsor, LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Y'all can post your jobs for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. I know Chat Sports, we're a small company, so finding the right people that can fit into your business. Shout out to a guy like Jeremy Jugs. We were able to find him. I was able to find my job here. Finding the right people really helps out your small business. So it's linkedin.com/NFL Daily. Overreaction Monday is usually a time where we can get hot takey, we can get spicy, and this season it's been a lot of overreactions after losses. I'll tell you what, though, I love doing this show so much more after a win, and I'm going to focus on this man right here because here's your bell cow back. In the NFL today, you don't have many players that are handling the workload, handling just the overall pressure that this man is handling right now, Josh Jacobs. And I said on social media, he could be the best running back in the National Football League right now. I'm not going to give it 4 just win babies, but there's definitely an argument to be had. So I'm going to say people are talking, and if you haven't been talking about it lately, you better start doing it right now because this man is on a mission. He looks like somebody who's going to get a nice payday, or at worst, he's going to get franchise tagged, and that's $12.7 million. Up against the Houston Texans, though, Jacobs ran mean. He was violent. I thought the offensive line was able to block pretty well. Even when you lost Jermaine Illuminor there, Munford stepped in. 20 carries, 143 yards. That's 7.3 yards per carry. And not 1, not 2, but 3 rushing touchdowns. Jacobs, to me, this entire year, I thought has looked pretty damn good. 111 carries, 633 yards, 6 rushing touchdowns on the ground. When I really think back into my head here in terms of the best versions of Jacobs I've seen, this is the most fresh he's looked, in my personal opinion, since his rookie year. And he's even elevated it to a whole nother level. And when you just talk about numbers, the last 3 games that I've seen from Josh, not only is Jacobs getting more work, which I'm going to tip my cap to Josh McDaniels, I'm going to tip my cap to Derek Carr, because you've seen it a lot more recently. Derek's switching up some plays, and they're going to keep feeding Jacobs the rock. Week 7, we just talked about those numbers. Week 5 against Kansas City, 21 for 154. Week 4, 28 for 144 and 2 touchdowns. That's 69. Nice. Carries, 441 yards, 6 touchdowns. That is an average of 6.4 yards per carry. Jacobs right now, my question to all of you, is he the best running back in the NFL right now? I'm actually going to make this the pinned comment on today's show. So you're going to get hit with the YouTube ad break. I want you to scroll on down. Let me know. Y for yes or N for no. I'm going to just type my tweener here because Jacobs is spectacular. You also have to recognize how incredible Saquon Barkley has been on a team that, let's face it right now, the 6-1 Giants are, I'll make the argument, the biggest surprise that I've seen in the NFL. And then you got Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb has also been a very solid back for Cleveland this season. When you look at some running back rushing leaders so far, and I'm just talking about yards, and this is only running backs because Lamar Jackson does fit into that top 5 number. Nick Chubb, 740. Saquon Barkley, 726. There's our guy. Josh Jacobs at 633. Derrick Henry at 536. Dameon Pierce at 504. Here's the thing, though. 2 of these running backs have actually only played in 6 games, and they are Josh Jacobs and Dameon Pierce. Let's look at the rushing yards per game numbers now. Okay, Nick Chubb at 105.7, Josh Jacobs at 105.5, Barkley down at 103.7, and then there is a huge gap of almost 17 yards to the next closest back, who's actually the rookie Dameon Pierce, who the Raiders just went up against. What about rushing touchdown leaders? Because touchdowns matter too. You got Nick Chubb at 8, the leader. Josh Jacobs tied with Jamal Williams, then Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry at 5. Well, in today's NFL, and I say this all the time, if you're going to get the top money, you don't only have to be able to run between the tackles. You got to be able to catch the football. Running back total yards this season. Barkley at 906, Chubb 807, Jacobs 774, Christian McCaffrey 760, and then Austin Eckler at 737. What about from a total yards per game standpoint? I mean, Jacobs is right there with Barkley at 129.4 and 129. A little bit of a drop-off at 115.3. Another little bit of a drop-off with McCaffrey and Eckler. All I'm saying is this. Jacobs right now deserves to be in that conversation for best running back in the NFL for not only what he's doing between the tackles, not only his ability to be able to find the end zone, it's also his ability to catch the football right now at a very, very high rate. Now, shout out to today's sponsor, LinkedIn. If you haven't already, you can go down in the comments section or in the description and see the link that we got down there below for you. LinkedIn.com/NFL Daily. Hiring, let's face it, it's just the beginning. You got to find those right candidates, and LinkedIn Talent Solutions is going to help you do that. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at LinkedIn.com/NFL Daily. I'm going to say it again. That's LinkedIn.com/NFL Daily to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Personally, for me, I love the simple tools like screening questions. It makes it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience. You can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. I mean, if 2020 taught me anything, it taught me that you definitely have to get the right people in front of you to help build a business. Chat Sports Now, we do a lot of our hiring personally on LinkedIn, and I can remember when it was just 4 of us, and then I remember it was 6 of us, then it's 8, and now we're all up to 20. LinkedIn has helped Chat Sports grow, and if you're trying to start your own business, I believe that they can help you grow as well. LinkedIn.com/NFL Daily. Let's go to the next overreaction here, and it's Josh McDaniels. He's making Derek Carr a game manager. This is for just win, babies, and it's okay. Everyone take a breath. When everyone hears the term game manager, I feel like everyone just sits there and is like, why, how dare you? You're just flipping off McDaniels. You're flipping off Derek Carr. He is making him a game manager for just win, babies. But you know what? I'm okay with it. And you should be okay with it too. Yes, I understand the vision. When you gave Derek Carr the amount of money that you did, I get it. You gave him about $40 million per year because you had Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams. This was supposed to be the NFL offense that just chucked the ball around. When you think about the fact that Las Vegas had Derek Carr as one of the front runners to lead the NFL in passing yards, what does that tell you? That they thought that they were going to air the ball out. But you know what? If Raider wins come from Derek Carr being a game manager, and Derek's doing a lot of this, Josh Jacobs. Does anybody care? The answer to that question should be no. It is just win, baby. And if Derek Carr is going to go 21 for 27, take care of the football, 241 yards, make big-time throws like hitting Matt Collins in the middle of the end zone for a touchdown, that rollout to the right side, I don't know how the hell Hunter Renfrow caught that football where he slid on the ground, got up for a big-time first down. That's what you pay quarterbacks to do. And Derek made a lot of really clutch throws yesterday. He stepped up into the pocket, I thought, impressively. He started off shaky. Like, let's be real. There were a few throws that Derek had earlier in that game. I was like, oh, no. They don't look ready. This is a team that was 3-16 coming off a bye. When you look at the last 19 games, hasn't been great. But they found a way. It was 10-10 at the half. You go up then 28-10, you outscore that team in the second. Yeah, I get it. The Deron Harmon pick six, it helps that number. But Derek was making changes at the offensive line. And when you really consider the fact of how many different head coaches, offensive coordinators, is it just me or is Derek looking like he's starting to settle into this offense / settle into knowing his role and just being like, cool, I'll be a game manager? Because over the last 3 games, I've been very impressed. And since that Week 1 game up against the Chargers where he threw 3 picks, he's been pretty good, actually. 61.4% completion percentage, 1,279 yards, 7 touchdowns. Obviously, I'd like that number to go up, but it's the 1 interception. When you got your back running the football the way Jacobs is, if that number in terms of turnovers stays low, he also isn't fumbling the football much. Think about that. All of that goes into consideration. So y'all can tell me right now, scale it from 0 to 100, your overall confidence level in the quarterback. DC, 0 is you got no confidence whatsoever in number 4. 100, he's your dude, and you have the utmost confidence in DC. I'm probably going to be a little bit lower than some people here, but I'm also a little bit more of a tough grader is what I like to say. I'm going to say it's a 70. It's a C. For me, if I'm going to give something in the 70 range, I have confidence. The only reason why I can't go above and beyond that is because let's just say an NFL team stacks the box. They take away the ability to run the football with Jacobs. What type of quarterback am I going to get there in Derek Carr? I've seen a lot of good steps forward. I liked his ability to be able to roll out of the pocket yesterday, step up into the pocket. There are definitely at times, though, where the mental clock of, all right, get rid of the football, get rid of the football, get rid of the football, he's still taking those sacks. Derek has shown me that he's taken the right steps in being a game manager, but I can't sit up here and say that I have any more confidence in a 70 in the quarterback. Let's go to the last thing here. I get the fact the Raiders won. I tweeted out yesterday that personally, in the first half of football, I thought the Raiders were the worst coach team in the NFL. Is that a hot take? Yes, it is. But you were losing to the Houston Texans in a game that you were getting bullied straight up front on the defensive side. The defense also wasn't making any corrections. I admit this defense right now has got a bunch of Paul Gunther, got a bunch of Gus Bradley players playing in a different system. Yet again, it's going to take time to learn. But here's the thing. The NFL trade deadline's right around the corner. The Raiders need to make some trades. 4 just win, babies. This is not an overreaction. You can enjoy the win. You absolutely should enjoy the win. But when you really sit back and look at reality, the Raiders are 2-4. 2-4 right now. The NFL trade deadline is about a week away. We're going to be live during that day on Tuesday, November 1st. The Raiders right now have the 4th most salary cap space with $9.4 million. If you're comfortable being 2-4, I say shame on you. What I would do is I'd say the Chiefs still look like one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL, minus the Bills, minus the Eagles. The Chargers are going the wrong direction. The Broncos right now are an absolute disaster. And there's still a lot of good teams in the AFC, and if you want to be able to compete, you better make some trades. So if it was up to me, I try to come up with realistic trade options for the Raiders. And you're going to notice, that's weird. It's on the defensive side of the football. You know why? Because that's what the Raiders need, extra defensive help. I would love to be able to get Daron Payne. I don't know if it's going to happen. Let's say you can't get him. A lesser option, Michael Brockers, defensive tackle from the Lions. How about an edge rusher, Lorenzo Carter, somebody who's played in Patrick Graham's system? All right, well, Robert Quinn, he's worked with some of our coaches like our GM, Champ Kelly. Rasheem Green, who the Raiders went up against yesterday at Houston, he had a sack. And then your cornerback position, depending on how long Nate Hobbs is going to be out for. William Jackson, top priority. C.J. Henderson, they're selling everything in Carolina. Sidney Jones is a name to keep in mind. I had confidence in Anthony Averett. If I'm being real with y'all, though, Houston, Davis Mills picked apart Anthony Averett yesterday. He looked like somebody who hasn't played in a while. And sure, he's got to get the feet wet again. He's got to get back into football shape. I understand all of those things. But we got to win. Like, that's the point I'm trying to make. We got to win right now, and if you're not confident on Anthony Averett, who definitely got picked on a little bit, add an extra cornerback to your secondary. So those are just some realistic names in terms of guys that I've seen linked to trades. If I could get Brian Burns, I would do it, but if the report's out there that they want 2 first-round picks for him and that's still not enough, I don't think you're going to get Brian Burns, man. So name a player the Raiders should go and trade for. I'm going to be looking for all the answers because that means you made it to the end of the video.